beautiful kittens, it's Mama Kincaid, and today I have a rather different story time for you guys. This story time is not paranormal, it's just something that happened to me that's pretty freaking crazy. And if this person ever sees this, I know she's going to deny literally everything, because, I mean, if there was a story time like this out there, I would probably deny everything too. But hold on to your wife and tater tots, because shit's about to get real and I'm spilling some fucking tea. So get sat down, because this is probably going to be a long video of me rambling about this person that did some pretty fucked up shit, to be honest, to me, and not some, I'm sure she did other weird and bad shit to others. I just happen to not know that much. I do know she did something else weird to my friend, which I will get into later, but let's talk about this lady and her backstory. So, hello friends that I went to high school with, because you're going to know who I'm talking about. We're going to call her Miss Butterball. Her name is Miss Butterball. She was the principal there at my high school. And I met her in 10th grade. She was my principal from 10 to 12. And she did some pretty weird shit, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, like, the high school was great. Like, I'm not gonna say that this high school was a bad high school, because it wasn't. The only thing I had an issue with was her. Like, that was literally it. I never had a problem with other students. I never had problems with teachers. It was her. She ruined my high school experience for me, when I actually had a really good high school experience, other than being deathly sick 24/7 and needing heart surgery right after graduation. You know, other than that, like, my high school career was great, to be honest. I had no complaints other than her. Thanks, Miss Butterball, for ruining my experience. So Miss Butterball was the principal of this high school, and I remember when I first met her, I think she made this really strange comment about how everybody likes her, but a lot of people hate her. To me, which I thought was a weird comment. I'm like, I usually don't have issues with teachers or anything, so I was not a bad kid, like, to be honest. Like, I didn't get into fights, even though I put on the facade that I was gonna fucking kick your ass and kill you if you fucked with me, just because that was my persona, and what I still have that kind of persona, like, don't fuck with me, I'll end you. But at the same time, like, I'm like the nicest person ever. Like, I'm too motherly, and I'm really, really friendly. As long as you don't piss me off or hurt somebody I love, then, like, we're golden, to be completely honest. Like, I may look terrifying, which I look way more terrifying back then than I do now, but other than that, I was never a bad kid. I never, like, purposely skipped school or anything like that. I did that once just for the fun of it, and that was the only time I actually purposely skipped school. And the friend, if you watch this friend that I did that with, that was a fun hour that we skipped school in school. Other than that, I only did it once, because I just never had done it. So I never had an issue with teachers or anything. It was just her. And I remember her making that comment to me about how everybody likes her, but then it's like some people hate her because she's tough, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I don't really expect to have any issue with you. Like, I don't usually have issues with teachers. I just don't. Like, everyone usually likes me. Like, I give them no reason not to. So, whatever. Although I remember my first issue with her was I had to take the bus every day, because I have a heart condition. I can't walk to school. I can't really walk long distances, especially back then. My heart was failing. Keep this in mind. My heart was failing, and the majority of this stuff happens when I was a senior, when my heart was only working at 50% or lower. So I was really sick 24/7 because my heart wasn't working, which obviously it's better now. I had surgery. I'm still have health problems, as we all have known. Like, the whole world knows that. Everything is mostly, for the most part, fine now, not heart related. However, back then, I was sick 24/7. Like, at least every, 4 weeks, I would get a sinus infection that would turn into another infection, which could have led into pneumonia because of how the severity and how long it lasted. And I was always sick. I always felt awful. And I never really knew why. It was just, I was so accustomed to feeling like shit that I didn't know how to not feel like shit until I stopped feeling like shit. Because I'm not that bad anymore. I still get sick, like everyone gets sick, but it's not anywhere near as extreme. Unless I like work really hard, then I will get sick like that. Unless I work really hard, I'm usually okay. Which is just information, because this is a long fucking story. I swear I'm gonna have to like put this into like a saga of this butterball. Another issue I had with her, well, the first issue I remember having when I first 10th grade rolled around was I had to take the bus to school. So I took the bus to school. And this bus would always drop off like 4 minutes before the bell would ring for first period. And because I have heart condition, I can't run. I would always end up being late to class because it never showed up until like 8:11. And my high school is huge. It is god awfully huge. And I'd have to walk so far, and I can't walk that much in 4 minutes, like, especially if I'm on another story. Like, it was crazy, and I could not make it from where they dropped off to my class in enough time. And this was my very first week of school or something when this happened. I ended up being late, and so I went to go tell her, hey, like, the bus dropped off way too late, like, can we like fix that? That's kind of crazy. Like, is there something we can do? So I went and told her, and she said that I was lying and that I have plenty of time to get to class and I should just be quiet and go. And I'm like, I'm not lying. Like, this is a serious issue. Like, I don't really want to be late, which ended up being fine. I ended up getting like an extra 5 minutes to class, which then she tried to take back and tell me that I'm not allowed to have that anymore, even though I have a heart condition and my heart's failing. She tried to take it back from me, so thanks a fucking lot. Like, that's great. The person that didn't think I had it, the nurse, actually apologized to me, but Miss Butterball didn't. Like, oh no, she did not apologize for that. And though I have a right to have it, you know? Like, so I was never really late because I had plenty of time to get from point A to point B as I needed. I'm trying to get some like minute things for you to connect with this craziness before I get into what she did, so that you can wrap your mind around the type of person she is. So, like I said, I never really had issues with any principal before, like, ever. I had an issue with a vice principal, but we had an issue with everybody. I didn't take it personally, to be completely honest. Not that I really cared, because the actual principal liked me, so I didn't care. And that was in middle school, and I was just like, whatever. And everyone else liked me, so whatever. Now, the principal's a different story, because, you know, you only have her, so she doesn't like you, you're fucked. Which, she did not like me. She did not like me. I don't know why, but she didn't. And so, there was another instance, I think it was junior year. I really don't know if it was junior year. Okay, it was one of the 2 years, junior or senior, when I was taking, some math class or whatever. So I went to go take my math class. And I needed tutoring, so I stayed after school, and I had to pee really bad, and it's usually fine. As long as you take the hall pass, like, it's completely fine. Because it's after school, you could just take the hall pass and go. It's not that big of a deal. And my teacher was swamped, so I was like, I'll just take the hall pass, because I don't want to bother her. Like, she's literally, like, swamped with, like, 6 kids helping them, and I don't want to be like, hey, like, I don't want to be rude. So I just put my stuff down and took the hall pass, and I was literally gone, like, 5 minutes. Like, it was really easy. Came back, and then the principal Miss Butterball was in there, and she's like, where'd you go? And I'm like, to the bathroom. Hold up, hall pass. To the bathroom. And she's like, well, you weren't supposed to leave, blah blah, and you have detention now. And I'm like, it's usually fine if I take the hall pass. She was literally hellbent on me skipping school. Like, she was convinced that I was, like, skipping school, and that was not the case. Because there are many instances where she assumed I was skipping school. Like, if I was sick, she'd be like, oh, you're skipping school. I'm literally sick. Like, I'm not purposely skipping school. She also tried to pin me with a mental disorder. She had the psychologist test me and another person test me, and it came back clear, and she kept telling them to test me over and over again because there's something wrong with me. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I may be a scary bitch sometimes. Not to adults, but to, like, other people. I may seem scary, but I'm not, like, I don't purposely skip school or anything. And that leads into junior year. the end of junior year, she threatened me. And I really went in there. I thought it was fine because it was like the end of school, and I went in there. I don't know. I don't remember. I think she called me in there, or like one of the other office peoples called me in there, and then she said, "Come here." So I did, and then she like basically got in my face and told me that if I was sick anymore next year, like senior year, that she was going to throw me in truancy. And I'm like, okay. And I stood up for myself, because at first she was being like completely rude. Like there was no reason to come at me like that at all. Like she basically pinned me as, you're just skipping school, blah blah, I'm gonna throw your ass in truancy, when she has the paperwork. Like it's clear blue handwriting that I have a heart condition, I have a lot of health problems. Back the fuck off. Like I can't help it. So I don't remember what she said. I got really mad though. Like I wasn't upset, I was mad. Like why would you come at someone like that and be like, I'm gonna throw you in truancy and I'm tired of this skipping school, blah blah. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god. So I told one of my teachers, because I was in there with her doing like helping her or whatever, and I told her, and she's like, well, I'm not surprised at all, to be honest. And I'm like, yeah, well, she did, and well, I mean, I stood for myself and told her, you have no right coming at me like that. Like, just don't. Like, you need to chill. There's no reason for this. Like, threatening me isn't gonna make me less sick. Threatening me is not going to do anything. Like, and it didn't do anything. So, and then that leads into the next year, when my heart actually was failing bad. Like I would sleep 15, 16 hours, wake up still miserable because my heart was failing. And so I went to the cardiologist, who said I need to have heart surgery, all that good stuff. So that was a thing. And I remember, I missed so much school that I did go in truancy, but no one bothered to tell me that until like a teacher came up to me and told me myself. And like no one told me, it was my teacher, one of my teachers came up and was like, can't you do something because truancy? And I was like, well, I'm not in truancy. Like, what are you talking about? You got the wrong person. Like, I was thinking she had the wrong person, because I'm not truancy. And so she's like, okay, well, let me go look. So then she looked and it said my name, and she's like, no, it's you. And I'm like, the fuck? So I didn't even know. So I came home and told my mom, because I'm like, this is news to me. And she's like, oh my god. And so mom got mad, because she's like, this is fucking stupid. So we're all mad. So obviously I go to truancy and get my heart checked out. Things are failing. And then here comes some more lies. So I went into the judge, because we have to do that. And now this is not disclaimer. I'm not going to say that I never did anything stupid, because I mean, obviously, yes, I did a lot of stupid shit. But I never did anything to get myself in serious trouble, because I'm not stupid. Like, I'm smart. And I used to be a narc like my mom. I used to know how to manipulate that shit out of people. I was really smart. So I did not purposely get myself in trouble, because I didn't want to end up in that situation, because it's not worth it. For one, like, my home life is fucking miserable. Like, there's no point in adding more trouble to myself. Like, there's just not. So Miss Butterball had to be in there. And so she told the judge that apparently all my teachers say that I don't do anything except for I'm disruptive and I don't ever do my work. And that almost got me arrested, not even fucking kidding. And that was not true. Not true, because I was like, who the hell would even say that? Because all my teachers, for one, love me and I never give them any trouble. I've never been sent to the principal's office for anything that I've done in class. So why on hell? No, it was a complete lie. I knew that it was a complete lie, because nothing on the paper even said that I never did my work or anything, because they have a paper, nothing said that either. So I'm like, alright, this woman's just out to get me. I don't know why, but she is. Yeah, she almost got me fucking arrested, and so I told some people about it, and they were kind of they weren't mind blown, but also mind blown, because they're like, I'm not surprised, because it's Butterball. And here comes the real kicker, which is the title of this video. We were in a meeting, I think after like the judge meeting or whatever, Miss Butterball, in front of some other people who were like office officials at the school, so they wouldn't have heard her say this. No one in the meeting or whatever we were talking would have heard her say this. and have it written down or anything, because they have a court reporter. So she knew that no one was going to catch her. She told me that she had cancer, breast cancer. And if she can come to school with breast cancer, I can come to school with a heart condition and a failing heart. I kid you the fuck not. And people from my high school, yes, she fucking said this. Because I told one of my friends right after. Actually, I told a lot of people that she said this. Because at first, I was like, if you were doing chemo, because apparently she was doing chemo, which, another thing, there was teachers in the school that I knew having chemo, and they were too sick to come. I knew that it was bullshit when that came out of her mouth. I knew that it was just trying to get me to, I guess, feel bad, so I'll come to school, whatever. I don't know. It didn't work. So whatever you were trying to do, it didn't work. So she said this, and the official person that wasn't working in the school or anything, I think she was just happened to work for the judge or whatever, was like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, like, for one, if you were doing chemo, you've never really missed school, so like, how would you have time to go get chemo and you look perfectly healthy, like your hair's not falling out, like you're not sick, like, I mean, sure, like, there's a lot of people that have sicknesses that don't look sick, like me, obviously, but cancer is a really, really bold statement that you really can't lie about, because if you're doing chemo, you are a sick motherfucker. Like, that stuff is so bad, and it does bad things to you. So I knew that it was a lie, and I mean, I didn't know for sure, so I didn't say anything, but I did tell my friend who saw her semi-regularly. I told her about it, and I didn't know for sure that she lied until a year later, because I remember my friend calling me and said, you'll never guess who I just talked to and who said that she doesn't have cancer. Yeah, Miss Butterball, she doesn't have cancer, because she asked her how her cancer was doing, and she had no idea what she was talking about. I fucking knew it was a lie. I knew it was a lie. Which, that is some fucked up shit to lie about that. Like, why would you lie about cancer? Honest to God, why would you lie about cancer? Just don't. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm really not. That woman was out to get me. Like, she was, and it wasn't even just me. She was rude to other people. She loved having power, I can tell you that. She loved having the power. She really did. I could just tell. Because she also pulled some things with my best friend, when she parked her car in the wrong spot by accident. So she wasn't sure if it was a parking spot, so she parked there, and she just thought, oh, they'll tell me if it's not, they'll make me move it, because they did. So she went to go move her car because she got called, because she knew that was why. So she went to go move her car. She went back up there, and they're like, where were you, blah, blah. And she said, I went to go move my car because I knew that was why you called me. I didn't realize, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to park in the wrong spot, like, my bad. And they're like, well, you didn't come immediately, so here's detention or whatever. Like, she got, like, privileges taken away or something, and she got really upset. She's like, what the hell? Like, I went to go move my car. Chill. And when she told me that, I'm like, that's Butterball for you. I ain't surprised. I'm really not. And she's done other things to me, but other than cornering me and basically threatening me, and then with truancy for no reason, like that was going to do anything, and then telling me that she had cancer to guilt trip me into coming to school, which didn't work. And I'm still a sick person. Like, nothing has really changed other than I'm not as bad with sinus infections as I was back then. That's just because I'm not around sick kids 24/7. I still have health problems with the ass. Like, nothing has really changed. So all of that shit didn't do anything, like, help me at all. I really think it was just about the money, to be honest, because, you know, court money and stuff. My fucked up story time of someone lying about having cancer. Actually, I have another story time about a person lying about cancer. So this is twice that someone who's lied about having cancer. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because subscribing obviously really helps. And then you can click the bell to get notified of when I upload. I don't know why I'm dancing with my fingers. And I will see you guys next time.